Well, this is Simeon coming to you from the Mauru room in SEC Warrabrook this time, and hoping to have 5 minutes of your time today. But I do need to let you know that this conversation will be recorded and may be used for the edification of your colleagues, possibly even for the glory of God. Am I speaking with Sujin?
Yes, you are.
Fantastic. How is it in Adelaide this morning, Sujin?
We had a rainy morning, but it's starting to get a little bit sunnier, so that's good.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, Adelaide is renowned for some incredibly hot summers. What's your favourite time of the year in Adelaide?
I probably would just say as long as it's not when it's extremely hot or extremely cold, I'm okay. So I guess I'd have to go for spring or fall or autumn. I call it autumn, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, absolutely. Autumn in this interview. If you're getting a Compassion International interview, then you can say fall.
Okay.
Next level. This is what to aim for. Hey, is that a piano I see in the background there?
Yes, that is a piano.
Yes. Do you, are you musical?
Am I musical? I do play piano. I've been playing since I was about 4. So I started with classical, like any standard Korean Asian parent, you have to play a musical instrument. And so, and then I played, for about 12 years until I was about 16. And then I fought really hard with my mom to say I no longer wanted to play piano. So from since then, I just mainly played for church and
Cool. Very good. And in terms of your preferred musical style away from the piano, what do you like to listen to? Or do you need time for that?
Yeah, I don't really listen to much music unless I'm in the car driving.
Yeah.
But the main type of music I listen to probably comes from ABC Kids when it's on the TV. But I don't know, I guess it really depends on my mood. If I'm in a upbeat, want to have fun music, then I'll listen to some dance music. But if it's more of like singing, then so there's a genre called K-pop, where it's like Korean music, right? Yeah. And it's getting to be quite popular globally, but K-pop's quite their own variety of music in there too. So
yeah, cool. I'm sure we only see a very narrow spectrum of what K-pop actually represents.
Yeah.
But it's become a worldwide phenomenon, so hey, let's enjoy it. How long have you been working at Compassion?
It's been just over 2 years now. 2 years? Yeah, I started in 2018.
And what led you to Compassion as a workplace?
So I was looking for work for the first time after popping out my 3 kids, and I came across the job description for an SRS, but a bilingual one. And I remember thinking that because I come from a YWAM background, that's why I came to Australia to do youth mission, and first time working in Australia, so I was just like, it would be nice to go into Compassion because it's kind of, it's a Christian organization, you know that you can, it's a good place, it's good people, and so so I really wanted to work here, and then I applied thinking, not knowing really what was going to happen, but I guess being the Korean English bilingual role worked to my benefit. And then I came to Newcastle. I remember meeting Jonna and Jenny Hastings for my interview, and I guess it all went well because I'm still here.
And a hugely valuable part of our team, with that Korean link. And hey, what's your tip? Somebody who was asking for you yesterday, but you had the day off, so I couldn't transfer her through. What's your tip for the rest of us in the FTC if we get someone with Korean? Persist? What's your pointers?
To actually have a conversation with them, or to transfer to me?
Yeah.
To be honest, if they're a Korean speaker and they want to speak to a Korean speaker, I don't know if there's much you can do. I think Korean people can be very persistent in wanting to speak to a Korean person, especially if they know the service is available. So to be honest, your best bet is to just take their number and pass it on to me and let them know that somebody will call them back.
All right.
In 2 business days. Either that or speak really slowly.
Yep. Well, there you go. There's a tip. I spoke to yesterday and I toned it down, and that worked really well. She was
great.
Hey, you said you came to Australia initially with YWAM. Was that because from your Christian background, Australia was seen as a mission field in need of workers? What was the story there?
No. So I grew up dancing and doing lots of performing arts. And so when I was looking at doing YWAM related training, I was looking for a performing arts related school, and there just happened to be one in Sydney.
Yep.
And so I applied for that one and I got it. And so that's why I ended up in Sydney.
Okay, cool. Very good. And so did you grow up in a Christian family?
Yes, born and raised into it. So born into the church, went to church my whole life. I don't know anything different.
Yeah. And at what point did that become a personal decision for you? And was there somebody who was kind of critical in helping you make that step?
I always struggle with this question because I think when you grow up in church, you just, it's so innately known. And I always struggle to have at this age, at this time, this is when I really came to know God. But when I was 18 and I went to college in America and I left home for the first time for a few years, I didn't go to church for those few years. And when I came back to Miami, I went back to church because I was living under my parents' house again. But it probably wasn't until I came to Australia and did YWAM that I really probably reconnected that fresh, new, real beginning and understanding of a relationship with God. So it probably took me into Australia when I think I was 22 when I came. So probably then I'd say.
Well, God moves in mysterious ways, and if that means moving you around the world, then hey.
Yeah. Whatever
That's
works.
wonderful. And have you found any particular inspiration from a particular book of the Bible, or have there been other books that have helped you in your understanding along the way of your faith?
I think if I have to pick a book in the Bible, I do like Ephesians because it just talks about the whole purpose of God and all that stuff in Ephesians. It's really cool. But if I was going to pick just a random other book that's not the Bible, it might sound pretty generic, but I do like Crazy Love by Francis Chan. I remember reading it when I was younger, and then I reread it again probably a few years ago. But I think it just talks so passionately about what it feels like to be in love with someone, and the passion that you feel in that kind of relationship. That's really how it can be in our relationship with God. And it just makes you think twice, because in your human relationship with other humans, you think about how much you love people, how much you care about people, and it just makes you wonder, well, why am I not this with God? This is how my relationship with God should be. I should be passionate. I should want to know more about God and spend more time with God, and just challenges you to think differently, I think.
Fantastic. That's really inspiring. I'll have to look that one up. I've heard other people mention it, but I haven't read it, so I'll look out for it. So is there a particular country that Compassion is engaged with that you have a heart for?
Yes, I am quite interested in Compassion Guatemala because I was born there. I was born in Guatemala, but we moved to Miami when I was 1.
Yeah.
And so, I never had a chance to go back to Guatemala. I've been back to lots of countries around Guatemala for different mission trips with my church. So I've been to Mexico, Nicaragua, and all these other places in Latin America, but I've never gone to Guatemala. Yeah. And so, I would love to go see what Compassion's like in Guatemala.
Cool. Well, I'd love to be able to explore a lot of those things a bit further with you, but we're limited with time. Otherwise, nobody will watch this interview. So, hey, last question. Have you done any Christmas shopping yet?
Oh, I have not. I should, because I have 3 little kids, but I have not. But thank you for the reminder. I'm going to start today.
That's okay. Write your letters to your compassionate children and start your Christmas shopping. I need to tell you.
Yes, that's right.
Well, it's been wonderful to catch up with you, Sujin. Thank you for your time. Thanks for your insight. Thanks for sharing.
You're most welcome.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. Bye.